Okay, welcome everyone. This is, I realised this week when loading to YouTube, the 52nd episode of this season, season 2. Now that includes Rime of the Frost Maiden, with this adventure launching off from that. So well past the 50 and into it. By means of a bit of an intro to where we are. You are battling through you're locked into an area of Chult, which is wild, uncharted, largely uninhabited, although you did come across a village that had been struggling for some time, and defeated a corrupted druid, an archdruid of the local Kyoka tribe, and have been noticing over some time, travelling through the deep jungles, of the sources of apparent corruption through the jungle, and heard a legend of the return of Votaran, who apparently turned his back on the people of the lands. Making your way up through a stone pyramid temple to Dendar the Night Serpent, or originally consecrated in his name. Ruin, no UNT present. You fought your way through an area of what looked like a sort of corruption of the four elements, and some sort of summoning thing at the top. And there you fought this enormous fae, a gargantuan fae. Sharp, icy, sort of icy, or maybe gem-like, storm sort of creature as well, but not made of storms like an elemental or anything. Very difficult to place. Unique creature. But it went berserk and attacked you, and after a fairly epic battle at the top of this, at the eye of the storm, so to speak, you managed to defeat it. Some of you were close to death, or almost there, within an inch of your life, but you've spent 8 hours at the top of this mesa, within a Leoman's tiny hut summoned by Ash, I believe, or is that yours? I forget. Ash. So, okay, so I'll assume Ash is sort of lingering out, just off camera here. But our big news of the session was also that you are joined by a tabaxi who you have rescued from a petrification trap. You smashed the trap, and in so doing, all of the statues, all the statuary that were all throughout the area, tumbled, toppled and smashed, just horrifically turned back into flesh. So there was all these half people everywhere, and people in 3 or 4 bits, or with heads broken off, like ancient Greek statues toppled in a ruin. But then you heard this groan from amongst all these body parts, and this sort of fairy hand came out, and lo and behold, there's this tabaxi there. So what I might do is, Riddle, if you could introduce yourself, like describe how you look, and tell us a bit about your character. You've had 8 hours to chat and become acquainted with everyone throughout this long rest.
Well, half Riddle is a tabaxi, obviously. The best way I can describe her is she looks a bit like a snow leopard in colouring and markings. She is a warlock, and she's just gotten out of a bit of trouble and is looking for answers.
And what do you, if someone was to look at you, like, are you wearing armour? Do you have a shield? What weapons? You know, like warlocks can be many different flavours.
Riddle is very subdued for a warlock. Tends to wear mostly travelling clothes of different blues. A bit of leather armour, and the only weapons of note is she has a sickle and a dagger. She's pretty mute for a warlock. She's not extravagant.
Okay.
Sharpie, who's also pretty mute and talks very little, would probably ask you one question. Say, what are you a warlock of? Who gives you your power?
That could be something that you know, or it could be something that you don't. That's up to you. Not all warlocks necessarily they know their abilities, but it depends on the nature of the relationship between you and your patron.
My patron is Oberon, the Green Lord.
Sharpie nods and doesn't say any more.
Okay. And I guess just for our benefit, it might actually, just while you're on it, Sharpie, if you could just describe, we'll just do a bit of a retake on how you look to Riddle. So should I say Riddle? Is that right for short?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sharpie is a halfling, even smaller than most halflings. He's about 3 foot tall, blonde curly hair. At the moment, he is basically half naked and wearing scraps of leathers. Doesn't say much, if anything. Like, he probably asks maybe one question, and that's it. Doesn't even seem to talk very much, but you occasionally hear whispers of a loud shouting voice in your mind when he wants to ask stuff. Generally, he carries a staff and he's got a backpack. And that's pretty much it.
Neo, do you want to give us a bit of the elevator pitch of Neo?
Yes. So Neo, human, about 6 foot tall. 6'6". Sorry, has a tattoo of a dragon with the mouth that opens on his hand. In the winter he was wearing winter clothing, but in the jungle he's now shifted his robes to be bare-chested, with signs of dragons and stuff. He also has a tattoo of a scorpion on his right hand, which is his family mark.
The coolest of tattoos. And Ash Louise comes stepping out of the Lehman's tiny hut, and it vanishes at that point. Groggily wiping sleep out of her eyes, and they're just describing themselves, giving the bit of an idea of their characters over the long rest. Isaac, I see you've joined us just in time.
Splendid.
So
we didn't level to 14 or anything, did we? No, surely not.
No.
Or did we?
No. Not quite. Although a lot of experience was gained.
Okay.
So Ash, how do you look? What is your character? Can you just give a bit of a brief rundown of your character?
Certainly. Asha Louise is a tiefling female of average height. Her reddish tiefling skin is slightly silvery, so there is a sort of like gray pinkish hue. She uses, she would wear normally heavy armor as a befitting a cleric, but in this environment she's in tattered leather that's been sewn together. I think, strips that wouldn't just decompose or be rusted to oblivion by the magic or curse of the place.
Yes,
she has a magical, divine symbol of Selune, but she also worships the elven god of the sun, whose name escapes me. Corellian? Wait, no.
Lathander.
What was it? Lathander, that's right. Yes, Selune and Lathander, as a twilight cleric, and thus, straddling both the, spheres of day and night now.
And just before you arrived, I was describing how Riddle is the petrified tabaxi that you've rescued, and has only just sort of recovered faculty sufficient to engage with you since her rescue. And you can tell from how she's described herself that she is a warlock, so a spell slinger, with a sickle and dagger and not much else. Riddle, one of the common things about the whole party is they look like they've gone completely feral. So even things like the plate mail armour that the warriors are wearing, the straps have completely rotted off and been replaced with sort of bush twine. Nobody's got a backpack. They've all got woven baskets, sort of with 2 hoops, one strapped over each arm. They've got this sticky, colourful paint in stripes across their faces, arms and exposed legs. And they've got these strips of grass tied around their knees and elbows, so dangling down, looking everything like the postcards of locals of Deep Chult. So a lot of things, a lot of the non-magical items that are foreign made have been replaced with deep jungle, natural produce and findings. They've all gone rogue. So at this point, you've had a long rest. You've had an opportunity to spend hit dice, recover from the battle from the previous day, prepare any spells or things that you want. What do you want to do from here?
Well, I can do my commune spell, which would give us 3 yes or no questions to my deities, if the party has any questions you can think of. Otherwise, we can table that for later.
And also go back to the village. I mean, now that the druid's dead, hopefully they'll have an idea of what the hell's going on.
So do you want to just make your way back down out of the temple and out the way you came, effectively?
I believe there was a shrine full of gems that we also wanted to pick up.
Oh, true. Crikey, that's going to be hard.
If you want, you can just look that up later and
that's a good idea. I'll circle back to that a bit later on. But okay, so to cut a long story short, you make your way through the temple, delving down 3 levels of blighted groves, indoor groves. You swim down through the water and then swim up to the surface, coughing and spluttering, and make your way swimming across the 300 foot or so to the shore.
Walking, thank you.
Walking, yes. And have you got a ring of water walking? Is that right?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So Neo's just cruising around saying, "I'm the best monk. How they all should have been made
Any chance of a lift, Neo?
in the beginning days."
Sure.
Okay. And
Thank you very much.
the rest
Riddle's just staring daggers. She doesn't like water.
The rest of you swim through this murky goo, get to the edge, and then after a short time searching around, these 2 scouts appear. And so they were watching the storm, and they could tell that there was a furious battle up the top, but from the flashes and sounds within. But the storm is now gone. And they ask you, what of Votaran?
Just one word, dead.
Ah. Okay. Well, they sort of look at each other and say, well, we must away and They're looking around, or one of them at least is looking around at all times. They're still quite wary of these poison dusk lizard men. Shall we return?
Yes, sure, let's go.
Okay. Alright, so I can roll for them if you want to leave it up to them, or if someone is particularly skilled in survival, you can maybe even beat them and offer to take the lead in the trek back to the...
I mean, I am.
Yeah, what's your survival? Do you want to just give us a roll?
+8, +8 at advantage.
Okay. Mr. Survival, we'll call you Bear Grylls. Okay.
That's a 27.
Cool. All right. So you say step aside, amateurs, and the two tribesmen sort of look at each other, and eventually they nod impressed. You win them over, and together you collectively get back to the Kyoka tribe. Paige, obviously you're welcomed with many looking like they're bursting to ask you questions, but you are ushered almost straight away back to the temple of the main tent of the chief and the druid. And let us see, just back a little bit here. Okay. Dragonbait, as you approach into the Zosala, the head of the Obanashi clan, meets with you and says, "We knew you had been successful," and he sort of gestures inside the tent. You enter, and looking very sick on a litter is this human, middle-aged man with a goatee, and giving off a very strong smell of flowers is this dragon lizard, smooth lizard man creature with a great long sword at his side, and he seems to be sort of almost smiling at you. And he says, "Ah, you must be the Shadow Reavers. I am Artis Simba."
Turn to Masika.
Yep, Masika goes over and looks at him and says, "Oh, I've been looking for you for so long." And obviously they know each other. And she says, "What happened?" And he says, "Well, I myself and Dragonbait here had come seeking answers, and he says he journeyed west obviously of Port Nyanzaru to rendezvous." Let's have a look. Da, da, da. Yeah, within Mezro, I took a rubbing of this stone tablet, and I think it has answers to the whereabouts of Mezro. Obviously, and you look a bit, bit quizzical at this because he's saying he found this tablet in Mezro. He says, "I don't think that that's the true Mezro. There are nations of illusionists, of powerful illusions coming out of Nimbral, and I think this stone rubbing gives some answers towards that."
Can I investigate the stone rubbing?
Yeah,
Pulling
sure.
out a piece of parchment.
Yeah, okay.
May I have a look, please?
Okay. You can roll history or arcana.
Oh, they're equally bad. Oh, maybe the arcanist should have a look, actually.
Sharpie would nod and go over and help.
Okay. This is a rubbing, so
Do you know?
do you want to do the roll, Sharpie?
Yeah, I can help
Yeah.
you.
Just let me pull it up. Nope, I have no idea. Sorry.
We've got a 12. Artis is clearly very injured, not from wounds, but there's something going on. And he says, "I got this in Mezro itself. Took the rubbing, and the reason and the Uzoma, the druid, turns to you and says, although the mists appear to be gone, this magical backlash that affected Artis cannot be healed normally. I believe it may have something to do with this unstable magic storm that caused the mist to appear in the first place. Any mundane or even my magical attempts to cure Artis of his condition have failed, and I've even tried powerful magic beyond pure curing of wounds." Mezro says tells you what he can. It takes a while. He's sort of a bit breathy and has to take pauses every so often. He says he discovered the tablet in the ruins of Mezro as part of a statue of Mezro's former king. And looking at it, while you might not be able to read it, you can see that it depicts a maze, and it's got symbols marked in different locations on the maze. I took this rubbing thinking to get it translated, but all the translators could tell me is that it's magical in nature, defeats things like comprehend languages and other spells to that effect. However, what I do know, or what the scribes had told me, is that it's similar to those inscribed by the magical practitioners of Nimbrel. And the obelisks around the city of Mezro have inscriptions in Nimbrelese as well. And the reason he came to this region, he says, is because I was heading to the border of Samarak. Samarak is a neighbouring kingdom to Cholt, and you know how you guys are in this little mountain range. Well, just to the south east is a mountain pass that leads into Samarak. Samarak once used the same magical practices as Nimbrel, and maybe this is actually Samarak language rather than Nimbrelese. Nimbrelese is an island thousands of miles away, so maybe it's not actually Nimbrelese, it's Samarak. They use this powerful illusion magic to hide entire towns from their enemies. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Jacuz, he has joined us, so I can hear the echo.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. You have to just check your mic and your speakers close to each other. The Jacuz, just for your benefit, they've just travelled back to the village, and Artis is unfrozen but not necessarily well. So the nation, the Nimbrelese and Samarak,
All right, thank you.
Samarakians or whatever they're called, they use these powerful illusions to hide entire towns from their enemies, and he thinks that this artist thinks that this may have happened, been the same magic that was done by the Barret of Mezro. And Barret, right? Yes, says the druid, sort of nodding as if he knows the term. And maybe the Mezroans hid themselves away during the spell plague rather than see their city destroyed. but maybe left an illusion or semi-real. He doesn't quite have the answers, but he believes that his beloved has gone somewhere with the city. I guess just to expand on my journey to Samarak, I was actually heading to a fortress called Votaran, an outpost of Samarak, the closest Samarak place, a controlled Samarak place on the border. And Mezroans often travelled through that pass to get to Samarak to trade. It was there that I undertook to help these fine villagers and unfortunately encountered the Ifulacantho and this archdruid, Fatari, at the same time. Masika's looking at this tablet, and when she looks at it, she sort of, her eyes almost roll back in her head and she looks a bit dizzy as if she's going to fall.
Oh, I move to catch her,
Okay.
steady her a bit.
Oh, well done, Ash Louise. You managed to steady her, capture and sort of lower her down to a sitting position. And as she recovers, she looks up at you and says, "I've seen this before. I don't know where.
Where?
I don't know where. I've seen it before. But it holds something, some measure of great importance. I don't know whether it's a memory or a vision. But I have images in my head of Mezro in its former glory. Now, Riddle, your memories of Mezro is not as a ruin, but as a thriving city full of folk of Mezro, people.
Mezro has fallen. Back in my day, it was a thriving city. How was it lost?
Not fallen, says Artis. Gone, hiding, vanished. That's what I think. And then he sort of, in between these, sort of collapses back, and Masika goes over to him and holds him and says, "Artis, you can't go. I'll go with you. I'll go for you. We must travel to Votaran and see. Maybe we can translate this rubbing."
Ah, an adventure for knowledge. We are quite well acquainted with that sort of thing.
And Dragon.
How long is the travel?
And I believe we're still owed payment for our first revision for you.
Oh yeah, that was gems, if I recall.
Certainly was.
Yeah. I'm just expanding this map here for you. You should be able to see this come up.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. Now, if I look on can you see this Sanrak Mountains here? Now, this whole area here is the Bakamora. Let's see, out, I think it is. Yep. So there's the Bakamora with the red circle.
Uh-huh.
Oops. And you guys are pretty much right dead center in the middle of it. And you can actually see there's a pass to the south here. I'll just freehand it. And so I think it's...
And this path leads to where?
It leads up into the mountains to the fortress of Votaran and then south into Sanrak.
Oh, okay.
In effect, you've gone through the jungle areas of the planet and starting to get into the more temperate, lightly forested and farmland type regions again, but to the south rather than the north.
All right.
But to get to the mountains might only be a few days. I think it was only a few days of travel for you to get in here. If I jump back to the other map, I think we've got one which is pretty good. I'll just leave us there for a second. Oh, that's not it. Is anyone getting jungle drums?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear it.
African Kumasi groove. I'll just crank that down a little. Getting there. Oh, there we go. This one here. I'm just going to move us to our hex map. You should be able to see that now. The Bakamora is labelled on there.
Yes, it's just taking a long time to render this map.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. This is the standard, what do you call it, Tomb of Annihilation map, hex crawl. So in any case, you know that on this hex, it's roughly 1 hex a day. And so you can see, if you look at the very middle of the Bakamora region, in fact, the Bakamora region I'm going to, I can display in, because you've been so high, you've probably got a good idea of this area now. Not necessarily that you've been and flipped every token in this region. And if I look at your party members, there, you're probably about here now in the middle. So rather than talking in miles or anything, we're sort of talking in days of travel, and it's like 3 or 4 to get to the Sanrak Mountains.
Right. So, how long again would it take to get to Bakumora?
How long did it take? Weeks.
Well, would it take estimate time?
Yeah, to get from where to where?
From where we are now to Bakumora.
You're in the Bakamora right now.
That's where we are.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we're in the Bakumora. Yeah. All right.
I'll extend this freehand for you. So you've come along this way, straight across through the depth of the Choltingar, and over here to the village of the Omukayoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe, so from where you are, in the Bakamora, maybe 3 or 4 days to the Sanrak Mountains.
Mm-hmm. All right. I guess we should start preparing for our trip.
Okay.
We're actually going to go with this person?
Oh, sorry. What's the plan?
Well, Ash wants to find her nemesis that she vowed to defeat. Vowed to a god to defeat. This has clearly been a dead end. Maybe Ash should ask him.
Do you want to do your
This
3?
guy.
Yeah, I did ask.
You can do your 3 questions now.
Did
right
Ash
now?
ask his 3
No.
questions already?
No.
You ask 3 questions. You just ask this guy who knows the place well. See if he knows where your demon person thingy is.
Oh, artist?
Yes. I'm sorry, did someone say something?
No, go for it, Ash. It's all yours.
I am here on a mission from my god, to put it simply. I'm here to find and subdue this entity called Shavalak. And I believe it to be fiendish of some sort. Do you know anything about it?
Fiendish. Shavalak doesn't ring a bell. He doesn't. He says, "Oh, I've not heard of Shavalak, but I do know that the land of Cholt is tainted, and in a century ago, um, even more centuries ago, it was a paradise for the children of Abtal, for the people of the region, watched over by a greater benevolent deity who at some point turned his back on the place and let the corruption creep in. I wouldn't be surprised if there was fiends involved of some sort or another, but I've seen it in the eyes of that a corrupted druid even.
Yes. Well, I mean, we saw that there was a shrine to Dengar, the terrible great serpent. But given that we have this fiendish Shabalak and the remnants of the cult of Orville, and whatever far realm of a corruption, corrupted the elemental and the druid temple, I just wonder if this continent is somehow a magnet for some reason for all these disparate forces. Like, why would they all come here?
I have to say I don't have the answers. We each have our own quests, but if you're willing to go with Masika or Dragonbait here to this and accompany them to the Sanrak Mountains, when I recover, or perhaps they will then help you on your quest.
Sharpie looks perpetually unconvinced.
Yeah. It's a loose thing. Very loose argument. The druid says that the storms in the Sunrock Mountains are what started all this from his perspective.
I see. Is that where Masika proposes to go first, or does she want to go somewhere else to get the targets translated?
I think she's thinking along the lines with Artis, that the people of Votaran might be able to translate them.
I see. Well, it's the only need we really have, everyone. Unless we could try and ask the gods some question. But given that we get such, limited contact with them, it's up to you. I think it's the best route. As long as the cause is just, whoever gets me to Chevalak.
Yep. Would you want to prepare your 3 questions?
Sure, I'm very open to suggestions, everyone.
Ask it if this demon is in Samarak.
Ask if the demon is in the Samarak Mountains.
Or ask it if there are leads in Samarak that will lead us to this demon.
I could ask that. I was going to ask if Shavalak has any ghost or is manifesting as any physical form currently. Or, sort of like wondering if he's something that needs to be summoned or whether he's already here. I suppose, your question is. Anyone else have ideas?
Well, I think that we need more clues first to where we need to go.
Because as much as I love this jungle, which really, no, I don't, walking all the way through it just to find something on the other side of a mountain range which may or may not be related doesn't sound great.
That's fair. All right then. I will. If it turns out there are no leads in the Sandrak Mountains or Samarak, should I ask for a different location, or are those the only?
Don't really get yes/no questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was there another target area? You think of? Or if our new friend has a question that I might be able to position Salune to answer, I say turning to the taxi.
Ask if Alexander lives.
Alexander?
The wife of Arta Simba.
Very well.
So,
Okay.
you conduct your ritual to the gods of twilight, both moon and sun. Now, when you try to establish contact, you find that you've done this before, even in Icewind Dale a few times, and yeah, when you cast it, it's almost as if the connection, obviously you're not having a conversation, but you feel the connection is like talking to someone with a pillow over your head. It's muffled, and there's something blocking it. You do make contact, and you do feel like you're going to get a positive or negative response, hopefully, but there's definitely something wrong, something impairing or impeding the connection.
Oh, just in time.
So, your question?
Sure. I shall ask first of all, does the wife of artist Simba still live?
Yes.
Does the path to Shavralat lead through the Sanarak Mountains or Samarak?
Possibly.
Is Shavralat manifest in Shult now? As in, is he here corporeally or in a host?
Yes.
With that, I suppose the connection will close.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else.
No, you get a that shudder on down your spine as you receive the warning that Shavalak lives, or Shavalak is with you. But receive the good news that the wife of Arta Simba also yet lives, despite him having even seen her deceased body. But
I relay everything to the...
Okay. Arta Simba's obviously overjoyed, thanks you profusely and says, I am indebted to you.
I just bow. I go, no, I'm happy to help. If we can recover her, I will make it worth it too.
Dragonbait seems to be gesturing to Masika, and they're in a bit of a debate. and she turns to you and says, he wants me to stay with Artis Simba and him to go, and I think he should stay, and I go with you. We've already travelled together and know each other well, and Artis is going to need a strong defender in case in his recovery.
Well, we've met Dragonbait before. He seemed all right.
Yep, which you did, and he does. So, what's the plan then? They're sort of looking to you. Masika's obviously keen.
Well, should Mystica stay?
Dragonbait sort of.
I'd just say maybe
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so Dragonbait and Masika continue this sort of debate. No, you go, you stay. No, you stay. I don't want to stay. I want to go. Blah blah blah. All in some sort of sign language, gesturing sort of language, and they look to you.
What does the party think? I think if Mysika can act as a caretaker to artists, then perhaps she should stay, actually. I don't know. I make this argument.
Okay. Well, she says fine. Okay, and she agrees to stay.
Can Dragonbait guide us? Like, can we communicate with him enough? I suppose we can.
No, he sort of looks at
Sharpie
you
will translate.
and understands. Yeah, so Sharpie can, I guess, with his telepathy.
Oh, yes.
At least for some hours in the day.
Endlessly useful telepathy.
Yeah. Okay, so the following day, or after a bit of a rest, you and selecting of spells. I guess you might want to select different things for a journey through the jungle to the south. Let us see.
She did pay us the gem, didn't she?
She did, yes. An emerald, if I recall.
Yep.
Okay, you're travelling through the first day is largely uneventful. You do see some enormous dinosaurs, but they are herbivores and generally ignore you, even though you're amazed at the size of these things. And in day two, you clearly are starting to gain altitude. You rise up out of the mist, and it's more lightly wooded, with a lot of rocky outcroppings. At one point, you are travelling along, and you see this Allosaurus, the same as the pack animal that you've left in the village, and it's sort of just laying on the ground, and it seems to be quivering. And eventually it twitches, and that quivering look to it is little creatures that are all covering it completely, like a 1,000 ants on a giant cockroach. and they all take flight, and you recognise them as sturges. There's hundreds of them.
Oh god.
Sharpie readies fireball.
Fireball, yep. Okay. A fireball or some sort of area effect spells can sort of scare them off, and they sort of scooch around you in a swarm, but sort of take flight up to the trees and spread out. And after you go past, you see them all sort of clump together and then swarm again, and then all land to finish off this Allosaurus. Sharpie.
Insects seem really out of hand.
Yeah. Now, Riddle, you've got a little bit of a problem. You've got throughout this time you've had a bit of difficulty with insects. And I guess you would know that from Cholt that without insect repellent of some form, you might contract the sickness, the fever that comes with the mites and mosquitoes of the region.
Do we have enough of the repellent to share with?
Yeah, you can share it. Masika will hand over 2 days worth to you if you want, if the others want to do roughly the same.
We've
Yeah,
got about a week left here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll share it around.
Okay. So I think what you've probably well run out of insect repellent a while ago, but you've learnt through Masika and have a large stock of this colourful paste that you spread on yourself in stripes. You don't have to sort of paint yourself with it or anything, but as long as they're a couple of inches apart or less, it keeps the insects off. But beyond that, there's these other creatures that go at your exposed limbs, and so they're small, and you know, like when fish and chip shops, how they have those strips of stuff to stop the flies getting through. If you make yourself a little tassel grass skirt sort of thing and wrap it around your knees, it'll dangle down around your calves and keep them off.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So you're starting to look like one of the party now. You've got these blue striped war paint all over you, and now you realise it's not war paint when people have seen, you know, locals of the area. It's got a very, you know, solid purpose. And same with
Instead of stripes, though, I'm going to put it on top of all my spots.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. You colour yourself in. And you've got the grass things to keep them off your paws.
Turns out she can change her spots.
Yeah, can change your spots.
Oh.
Sharpie, very quiet except for when he cracks out the dad jokes. Okay, let's see. The fourth day, you rise up out of the jungle. And you start going on rocky ground. So if you imagine coming out of the Amazon and you're now heading up into the Andes, and over on the other side is Peru or Chile or, you know, arid countryside. And heading up into this region, once again the skies are continually stormy. You've not seen the sun yet. And looking behind you, you can see the mists of the Bakumura that's just shrouded. Every now and then there's a treetop or a larger hill poking up, but pretty much it's like a sea of mist.
Anyone have detect magic? Is someone mic open in Roll20 as well?
What's that, sorry?
Or was it on Discord? I don't know, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback. Maybe someone's mic is open.
Oh yeah, you can just check in your settings that you've got no audio and video in Roll20.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a feedback. It's probably, well, I'll point the finger at you, Jackals, just for the hell of it. But I don't know if that's true. I've got no idea.
I'm actually only getting it from Isaac.
Oh, are you? Okay. Well, there you go. It's a full circle. Now, let's see. I'm just going to grab everything.
I'm on push to talk.
Copy. Yeah, push to talk's the way to go. Oh, that's a bit ominous.
Sounds like it's the pirates of the high mountains.
Where's that skyship?
Oh yeah, and for
Dark Souls music video vibe.
Yeah. This is called Crossing the Chasm. Not sounding that chasm, I guess. Alright, so there you are. Can you see this resolving?
Yep.
Yep.
As you rise up out of the foothills, there's these enormous tumble shards, rocky outcroppings. I'll just move everyone to where you are. Let's see. This is a bit better. Oh, a bit of violin in there. That's all right. Jackus, you're a bit lost. If you want to move yourself across, that'd be great. So, yeah, rocky outcropping. So, do you want to, as you're making your way higher and higher into this saddle, you know, that goes down into Sunruck proper, there's nothing but blasted rock. Every now and then you can see scraps of, what would you call it? Probably vegetation that's blackened and charred.
blackened and charred by what?
If someone is good with nature, you could have an investigation of the blackened and charred.
No, Sharpie has both nature and investigation.
Okay.
Which do you want? Which do you want?
It's your call. You can use whichever skill of the two.
I think I'll go with that 31.
Natural 20. Okay.
Actually, wait.
That'll do it.
I'll make that a 39 just because I can.
Okay. All right. So, there's actually a number of sources of distress to the vegetation in this area. There's clear evidence of what looks like natural lightning strikes from above. Some of the larger plants have been destroyed by lightning, but it looks like others have taken necrotic damage. And there's a few cracks.
I'll mention that to the others.
A few cracks in the rock here and there, where it looks like there's some sort of tar seeping through, very slowly, but like tree sap, but it's a black sticky substance.
Any relation to the blight that was in the tent?
No, not any of those 4 elements. Blight, poison, blood, lava, I think it was.
When Sharpie mentions to us that some of these outcroppings have been hit with necrotic, I'm going to just have a look around in the skies just to make sure that we're alone.
Okay, you are alone.
Just
No more
perceptioning.
You are alone, but there are storm clouds that you can see. You sense at first as like a sense of some sort of presence. And looking to your west, you see this coming straight through the rocks. What look like these ghostly apparitions of soldiers. You know, and they're not walking aggressively, they're walking more like as soldiers do in a bit of a column. But they are heading in your direction.
Sharpie will hide.
Okay.
Are we able to hide as well behind a rocky outcropping?
I'll hide.
It looks like the person at the front is looking in your direction, so likely has seen at least some of you, but they're just walking straight through all the physical things.
I want to get out of their way, but also like take the block dodge action and then call out to them
Okay.
in common.
They're about 50 feet away from you, and they don't attack, but one of them waves and says to you in a heavily accented comment, "You must turn back."
I go, well met, soldier. I'm afraid we have to pass through here. We are on a mission. Why must we turn back? Is there some sort of danger, or would it be sacrilege?
We spirits have been trapped here for years, doing our best to warn people. It is your own choice. But we present the warning. You may end up like us.
What is the
How
cause
did you
of
end
life?
up?
The people, the soldiers behind the sergeant at the front, looks around and they've got their spears ready and they're just looking to the left and right and behind, as if expecting attack at any point. Sorry, Jackus, I missed what you said there.
How did you end up like that?
Well, we ran into some trouble and we were not able to prevail against the invaders. And as he says that, the light in the area shifts, Jackus. The
What
area
invaders are you talking about?
And he says, "She comes," and they look around. And everything around you, like as far as you can see, turns into sort of like when a cloud goes overhead and brings a shadow. Casts everything around you in muted greys and browns. And it's not like a cloud has passed overhead, it's as if all colour has been leached from the world around you. Even the colours of your own, feathers or other things that you've got. Cracks appear along the side of the mountain, Jackus, right next to you. And it oozes with this thick black liquid. And as it does, you hear an unearthly cry from above. And you can see, maybe, at level with the storm clouds, there's this enormous shadow of a large winged beast flying overhead.
Roughly how far away do you reckon it is?
Hundreds of feet. You don't know. It's hard to tell exactly. It's like looking at it.
Well, I can. In conditions of clear visibility, I can make out details of extreme distant creatures and objects as small as 2 feet across
Okay.
with my eyes. So I'm just wondering,
Is this magic
what do
item?
they look like?
Magic item?
Yes, this is from
Okay.
the Eyes of the Eagle.
Sure. Okay. It looks like a black dragon sort of shape, but it's not reptilian. It's smooth skinned, and trailing from its rings is like black mist. And as it
I
passes,
will relay that to the party as I'm seeing it.
and as it passes overhead, it passes out of sight and up into the storm clouds above. And as it does, it's almost as if that cloud that just leached all the colour from the world shifts back to normal almost as quickly as it first changed. And the sergeant says, "This entire area is caught in a rift between the Feywild and the Shadowfell and shifts back and forth. At any time you might find yourself in one world or the other. I urge you not to continue, but I will make no move to stop you should you choose."
Is there a clear path that we may follow?
Oh, there is, leading up to the fortress of Votaran and beyond. Into the other domains.
Can you show us the way?
No, we will not help you.
Okay.
You get the sense that their mission, or maybe what they failed in, usually ghosts have failed to do something and they've got a mission to succeed, is then to repeat whatever it is over and over until they succeed at whatever it was. Sometimes that's impossible due to the nature of it. And you can heed our warning or not, but we move on. And he gives a signal to the others, and they sort of shoulder their spears and start to stalk on through the shards. Jacques, can I get you to do a charisma persuasion roll in talking to Josar? Just as you're
Okay,
asking for help.
Yeah.
How'd you go?
14?
14.
14.
Okay. Yep. So they say the fortress of Votaran is beyond. Follow that trail and you can't miss it. I urge you not to go, but even more so, I urge you to stay on the path.
Well, which path are they talking about? This one? This one?
Directly to the north. North on your map.
Okay.
The north point on this map is sort of swiveled around.
Over here. Alright. I'll tell the party about they seem to point us north. I believe we should start heading north.
He says you are nearing the point where you can open the walking path, taking you to Votaran, but there's no telling what strange things lurk up there. Creatures from the Feywild, creatures from the Shadowwell, or somewhere in between.
Okay. Thank you for the warning. And I'll just take out my weapons and at the ready.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you carry on. I'll move the ghosts. I'm saying ghosts, but it's apparitions, ethereal things that you can sort of see.
Do we have any defenses against this? I have my aura that reduces necrotic damage, but that's about all I can think of.
I can do a few of those divine explosions, those radiant explosions that I'm famed for.
Oh yes.
Hadouken!
Certainly.
Your Ryu fireball thing.
I can hit stuff really hard.
After travelling probably another mile up, you encounter beyond where you encountered the patrol. You reach a small rounded clearing cutting between the paths. There's a large symbol with a flattened section carved into a flattened section of the rock, resembling a group of curved lines extending downward from an ellipse. And it's similar to a scratching that's on the back of the map that you've got. You know, the rubbing, the scroll.
Who has the rubbing?
Oh, you can have it. It was from Uzoma.
Try to match the rubbings I have with the one we found.
Okay.
Here.
Looks like there's some words written on there in common, but they're nonsensical. It's almost like just a jumble of letters.
I'll call out to Sharpie. I need someone smarter for this.
I've
Take a
already
look.
tried that. It stops any kind of magic that we can use to decipher it.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know whether this is metagaming, but maybe it's like illusory script, but there's a magic that codes it. We might. Does anyone have comprehend languages?
I was just going to ask if that's worth trying, but I thought we were told that didn't work.
The comprehend languages riddle is more about interpreting the Nimbralese signs on the stone rubbing. This is more written by Uzoma on the back of it, with a bit of a drawing on it, and it's it looks like someone's got a whole bunch of a bunch of letters, and jumbled them together into words. They do look.
I do have comprehend languages if you want to give that a try.
Yep. You can
Do it.
You can do comprehend languages. So what is that, a ritual? Can you do that, or just cast a spell?
Yeah, if you want to ritual it, I can ritual cast Tiny Hut. We can rest its dome just in case that monster comes back.
It's
Should be a ritual
casting
as well.
time, 1 action, lasts for an hour.
Okay.
So
Pretty certain you can cast it as a ritual as a warlock, so it'll be
If
10
she's
minutes.
if she's got the time.
That's true.
Well, it's a bit, yeah. Well, let's.
I do have. I'm happy to cast it anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I'll use one of my slots.
Okay, use one of your
I'll
slots.
pull out a bit of pinch soot and salt and
Okay.
cast the spell.
Okay, so what it looks like to you is as if someone is phonetically transcribed some magic words. So like a novice wizard. So rather than writing down in arcane runes how to say the magic words, it sort of says abracadabra, and then we say abracadabra in our heavily accented whatever. Accrucio. But it's something that you could say.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Felix, Felicius, Accrucio. legatum, whatever, and you start saying the words.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
What could possibly go wrong?
You summon Mr. Sophocles accidentally. And you, as you do so, a 25-foot wide trail made of starts to light up. A wide trail starts to light up in front of you. Sparkling gold lights that spiral around like a sort of Wizard of Oz-esque starting point, and then spearing off up the mountain in a zigzag path around the rocks.
I'm gonna guess we go that way.
Does seem like a solid plan.
Very well done.
I just ducked off camera then, sorry, because I could hear the back door open and feel this cold. Yeah, so you're following it along, doing it. You hook arms and do the skip.
If I only had a brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
So
I only had some courage.
You follow the sparkling gold lights spiraling along for a few hundred feet, that eventually reach an upper platform running alongside a large waterfall. And when you get along about halfway up this path, the air, let's have a look, you start to experience one of those planar shifts that you saw before. Remember when Jacques noticed it? Let's see. Neo, you're up the front there. You notice all colour leaches from the air, from everything around you, from the world, and you notice out of one of the rocks nearby you, there's a hole, a tunnel, and it goes down through a crack between the rock and the soil at your feet, or the crunchy sort of black gravel-like stuff. This hole is about 2 feet wide, and at first you think there's this black treacle-like stuff coming out of it like you saw before, but in this case it rises up and you realise that it's actually some sort of enormous worm-like thing, but it's just covered in that same black slippery substance. It rears up to maybe about 8 feet tall out of the ground, and then at the front of it, it opens out like petals of a flower, like a fleshy flower, and there's these huge jaws right at your feet. And I'll put onto the screen what you see.
Yeah, I don't think my dark vision is working either, DM.
Okay. Is it looking completely black to you, or what's the...
Most of it's looking completely black. I can't see when I move my token. I can't... That's as far as I can see from the light source.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me just... I'll jump
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
I don't think mine's working either. I've got 120-foot dark vision.
Okay, let's have a look. I'll jump
Samesies.
into that in a sec. How's the rest of you? Can you see all right?
I can see it.
Okay. So you can see there's 3 creatures around
I
you.
can see fine.
Okay. So Neo, you've got the problem. Oh, you don't have any vision.
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you. 120.
So that was from when you were caught in the darkness or something, I believe, or blinded from the holy symbol, holy word.
When we were defeating big old beastie.
Yeah. That's gone now.
He blinded me and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, and Riddle, what did you say your vision was? 60 night vision?
I've got 120
Devil's sight.
dark vision. Yeah, devil side.
Okay.
I have the same thing, but
That's
for my
awesome.
feet.
So does Sharpie.
Okay.
How
So
loud are you
just so
now?
you all know, devil's sight means darkness you see in. it's odd because it's even better. You can even see in magical darkness, but it gives you nothing for if you're in dim light. So if there's a little bit of light around, it's good for everyone else, but it's actually worse for you if you're relying on Devil's Sight. If it's completely black, that's all fine. So for now, I'm just getting rid of some other effects that I had here. Tell me what you see now, Riddle.
That's better.
Okay. The other thing is no one actually has a light source on, so if someone wants to light something, otherwise you're walking through this this dimly lit hellish landscape.
I can also share my magical dark vision with people as push comes to shove.
Yeah. Now, dark vision in this sense is actually better in a way, just because it means dim light is treated as normal. But I think Dragon Bait, unfortunately, is going to have to light something up.
Remember to get rid of pink dots and temporary hit points
Yeah,
after a
get
long
rid of-
rest, folks.
Get rid of all that jibber jabber. There we go. So you might be able to see Dragon Bait's light that he's carrying. But all that aside, I'm going to open initiative. Bear with me for a second. Turn order, there we go. Add yourself in at your leisure.
Did it again.
Click on your token first, and then roll your initiative.
Got me last time too.
Oh, every time, yeah.
Okay, is everyone confident they're in there now?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, I'll do my own. One. Hoi.
I thought mine was bad.
Natural one.
I would have gotten a 1 as well, but I have advantage. Thanks, Twilight Bird.
Slimy black worms. If the thing from Stranger Things was a worm, that is pretty much what you're looking at. Okay, we're going to sort. Okay, just running quickly. Ash, you're first, then Neo, Riddle, Sharpie, Slummy Black Worms, and then Jackus. Ash Louise, you can see these 3 huge things bearing down on poor Neo ahead of you. What do you want to do?
I will use my Channel Divinity and create a 30-foot aura around myself after Twilight.
Okay.
And let me just see. I'll move 10 feet up just to cover Jacko's as well.
$20-foot radius.
A 30-foot radius, I believe.
Oh, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically this massive aura, and I say to Riddle, if you stay in my light, it will help you. And then, as a bonus action, I will just cast a level 2 spiritual weapon and slash away at the nearest worm on my left there.
Okay. Roll to hit in that case. You're filling up the board with stuff. There's your spiritual weapon. How'd you go? What armor class?
28 to hit.
Ooh, that is definitely going to hit.
Oh, my game is so slow. Let me just roll for damage. And force damage.
Okay. Which one? Oh, this one over here near your thing? Oh, that one over there. Okay. To the west. -10. Alright, it takes the full damage and is unhappy. Oh, I just have to check something.
Oh yes, and I get 16 temp hit points, as is everyone who ends their turn in my aura.
Okay. Alright, add on your hit points, and then Neo, you're surrounded, 3 creatures. What do you want to do?
This one here is within 5 feet of me, yeah?
They all are, yeah. Oh no, one isn't.
Yeah. Oh, they all... Yeah, that one's within 10, but
Yeah.
that one is within 5 feet.
Yep.
Cool. I'm going to punch it.
Okay, roll to hit. Hey, 20, hit. Boom. What are you going to do? Damage?
11.
Okay, second attack. $24 is a hit.
I'm going to use up a key point so I can cast Burning Hands on it.
Okay.
And I'm going to max it out as well. So
Oh my God. This is your first encounter.
Yeah.
This is their first encounter of the day, but that's cool.
oh no, I've got plenty of key points.
Yeah, you're loaded.
Let me just see what it is.
And then it'll be
Bonus action, Searing Arc Strike. 1 key point equals spell up to 6. So I'm spending 7 key points total
okay.
to max this damage out.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
And he's just going to roll a bunch of damage. Riddle, what are you going to do?
Dex saving throw, by the way,
Oh.
for both of these two. DC 17.
Okay. Is that for splash damage?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Both fail. So how much damage? 7.
I got to roll the rest of the damages.
Oh.
One moment.
Do it.
That is 30.
I've already done the 7.
31, yeah, total. So 24.
Okay. All right.
And also, if there's any vegetation nearby, it's also caught
Okay.
on fire.
That'll be all the vegetation's toast around here, but Riddle, it's your turn. So he's very badly injured and a bit of splash damage to the guy next to him. Riddle.
I am going to use my Eldritch Blast.
Hey.
I get ta-da! I get 3 beams with that. So
Okay.
I believe I like 1 to each of the
Okay, roll to the first one.
slimy ones.
Class 18 hits for 5 damage.
Yep.
And to the second one. Class 20 hits for 9 force damage. Push, push. Any more?
And one more.
27, that also hits for 10, 10 force damage. Okay. No pushback or any other palaver with that. It's just straight up force damage.
Double check. No, it's just force damage.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any bonus action or movement you want to do?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Sharpie. They have noticed you, but
All right.
you're free to go.
Yeah. He's just basically going to aim at the most injured one and throw a psychic blade.
Okay.
Forms a shimmering heat blade in his arm and with his hand and throws it. Oh,
Nice. Psychic knife.
23 should hit.
23 hits.
25 damage psychic.
Whoa, okay. It twitches and flinches and looks like it's about to die, but then recovers and it's still standing, still squirming.
Done.
Okay. Slimy black worms. One of them attacks you, Neo. Hitting armor class 21.
Yep, that's a hit.
Okay. Doing 14 bludgeoning damage with its tail as it flaps around. And then tentacles all around its mouth lash out at you as well. With a natural 20, hitting armor class 27.
No.
Oh my god. Doing 51 damage.
Ow.
Given those rolls, 51's pretty good.
In my aura.
Luckily, I had that temp. God damn.
And
Ow.
you didn't have any temp, did you? Oh, for the end of your turn. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And just for the Twilight Aura right now. The tentacles, so the tail comes out, lashes you and whacks you around the legs. As you sort of try to jump those and fail, and it does the 14 damage, the tentacles just grab onto your torso and head, pull you in, and then this huge beak just chomps down on you. Hitting armor class 24.
Uh-huh.
And doing 8 piercing damage. The tentacles do slashing, the tail does bludgeoning, and so that's the first one finished. The other one attacks, also you, Neo. Missing with its tail, you've learned.
Yes, that's a miss.
It flashes, flailing its tentacles around at you and also missing. That's 2 natural ones in a row.
Good, keep it that way.
All right. The third one goes, the one that's got the glowing sword behind it, and it goes with its tail, trying the same thing as the other guy, with a 26. Hitting,
Yeah.
smashing into your back, doing 16 bludgeoning damage.
Uh-huh.
Then, the all-important tentacles flail in, hitting armor class 25, doing 28 damage. Are you down?
I have a big red cross on me, so yes.
So the tentacles grab you, doing all that, and pierce in, because they're all covered in these spiny teeth, and then it pulls you into a beak attack and does 2 death saving throws. Jakus, what do you want to do? You're horrified seeing what these 3 things just did to Neo in 1 round.
I'm gonna charge up to this one first and attack it with the Shadow Stave.
Okay. One-handed.
Yep, 21 to hit.
Okay.
10 damage.
Okay, it dies and flops on the ground. Splat.
And then I'm gonna move over here and attack this for the second time.
Okay.
With my second attack with the same weapon.
Okay. Shadow stave.
20 to hit.
Is all new weapons working out for you? You hit with the shadow stave now twice.
I'm gonna spend 1 charge to do a shadow strike, and 1 superiority dice to do a trip attack.
Okay. It fails and falls prone. You trip it over.
All right, and then for my bonus action, I'm gonna hit
hang
it
on.
with the Mace of Smiting.
Just tell me how much damage you did with all that second shadow stave.
16. 16 damage total. Yeah, 16.
Okay.
And bonus action attack with Mace of Smiting.
Okay, Mace of Smiting. What kind of
26.
26 hits.
Oh wait, it's advantage, so I might get a
Yeah,
crit.
you could get a crit. Roll again.
Oh no.
Natural 1. Okay.
I'm
Go to
gonna do
26.
a level 1 Divine Smite,
Okay.
and I'm gonna push it back 5 feet.
Okay.
So that's 18 total damage
For that mace. Does
for
that
the
to
third
it?
attack.
Okay, and you push it back 5 feet. Is that your turn, Jacques?
Yep.
All right. Ash Louise, you're somewhere there. Oh, you're very close to the action. These things have a reach of 10 feet. You can tell that from the length of their tentacles and tail.
Okay, I will reach for. Oh God, I don't know what to do.
6 seconds.
I will cast a heal on our monk.
Okay.
Him for 70 hit points.
Do you have to touch him? If you can, just move up if you do.
Maybe not. I don't think. Oh, I think I do have to touch it. Sorry, I'm just like super laggy. Oh. Heal. No, don't have to touch it.
Okay, so you can cast it at range.
So he just gets 70 hit points.
Great. You can add your 70 hit points.
Yeah.
You become.
And then I will say, yeah. And then
How
bonus
many?
action attack with my sword.
Okay, roll the hit.
17.
17 hits.
Oh no, sorry. I have a 12 to hit.
Oh, 12 misses the to hit roll. Which means turnover.
That's fine.
Neo, you regain consciousness, you're on your butt. There's lots of wounds all over you. For some reason. What do you want to do?
I'm going to stand up and they're both out of melee range, so I'm going to do my Radiant Sunbolt thing
Okay.
at this one first.
Okay. That'll be a disadvantage because it's a ranged attack when you're in melee range.
Oh yes, I'm still within their melee, aren't I? Hmm. 12 to hit.
12 misses. Did you get a second one?
16 to hit.
16 misses. Sort of
I'm going to spend the rest of my key points.
Yeah.
So 5 of them and do Burton's hands again.
Okay. Who to?
This one.
Okay. Now, do you do that? I think last time you rolled an attack and then hit, and then said, "I'm going to use spend key points to turn that into a burning."
Because it's a bonus action.
Oh, okay. So this is different to.
Yes, it's completely different.
Okay.
A dexterity saving throw, please. DC 17.
We have an 11. How much damage? 16.
It takes 21 damage total. Fire.
Oh. Okay, similar to last time. It's on death's door, but not dead.
Cool.
Riddle, what can you do?
Well, I'm going to aim for the one that's not on death's door
Okay.
and hit it with a witch bolt at level 5.
Ooh, nice one. Okay. Is it save or are you rolling to hit?
I roll to hit.
Okay. Oh no!
Ooh.
A natural 1.
Sharpie warns you about the rock you're about to stumble on. You can re-roll that.
Nice
I
one.
can re-roll that one?
Yep.
You can.
Thank you.
If Sharpie sees you be unlucky, you can maybe not be so unlucky. And he gets you re-roll the natural 1 using his reaction. Hey, 23,
Yeah.
that hits.
If from a purely tactical sense, it may be better to finish off someone who's nearly dead. But yeah, no, you do you.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that hits.
It certainly does. 23. Doing 26 lightning damage.
26.
Okay, boom. That is
Jesus.
also on death's door. Now, do you have any bonus actions or movement you want to do?
No. I'll sit where I am at the moment.
Okay. In that case, Sharpie.
I'm going to throw a psychic blade at the one that's not being witch bolted.
Okay.
Oh, everyone, a riddle. You also get 16 temp HP if you're in 30 feet of me at the end of your turn.
Yep. Use the.
How much,
So
sorry?
that happens. 16 temp HP, and it happens every round. And it doesn't stack, but it does refresh. So as long as you're within 30 feet of me, if you end your turn in my aura, you get another 16 temp HP.
Yeah. And put that 16 into your blue circle, so we keep the temporary and the standard hit points a little bit separate. And then just take your first lot of damage off
Thank
the
you.
blue bit. Happy days. Sharpie, back to you. Have you rolled to hit yet? 15.
Yes, does a 15 hit?
No, it's a miss, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll psychic that.
Give it a bit of a boost.
Does a 21 hit?
It does.
33 damage psychic.
Now, can that be sneak if they are not in melee? If no one's threatening them?
They are in melee, aren't they?
They're in melee, or someone is in their melee range. It's just.
If that's not the case, then I'll just aim and fire.
Okay,
before I do it.
no, that's fine. The 9 kills him anyway, so we can look it up later, or maybe you can just look up sneak attack just to see the wording of that,
Okay.
because it'll be a while before we. But you kill it in any case.
Yep, that's my turn.
Okay. Now I forgot to even add him in, but this silent but deadly dragon bait comes rushing in. Okay, and it's just taking its time. I hate using NPCs in Roll20. But he rolls to hit. He's got his torch in one hand, so just attacks with. Is that going to work? I think that's going to miss. We'll try again. Hitting. Doing. Killing it. Alright. Slimy backworms are gone and we move out of combat.
Huzzah!
Alright, so you got to test your staff and some of your new abilities.
Yep. First of all, ow!
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I did not want to have to throw out a spell, but I was like, oh, he might die if I don't.
And they were going to go straight after you. You had one person to have a go before they would just kill you, basically. One of them.
Yeah.
While one was sort of feeding on you, the others had turned somewhere else. Okay, so you gather yourselves. What are you going to do from here? Nothing to see here, move on?
I think we followed the lighted path already.
Yes,
For us?
Seems pretty simple.
the lit path is still there.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, the lights. After about 3 minutes, 5 minutes or so, the Shadowfell period passes, and you pass back into what feels like the Bakamora again, which has got its own ever-present sense of anxiety, but not the sinking depression that you have when the colours leach.
Well, I'd like to keep an eye out from now on, because an active eye out from now on, because that sucked.
Yes.
Do you want me to go first, Neo?
And I'm going to cast mage armor on myself.
I should be fine. Just yeah, ow.
Okay.
They hurt.
Yeah, very
Not
good. That
that
wasn't
tiny,
me.
Yeah, well, I can go first, but I was just too far ahead earlier.
Sharpie, stay keeping watch at the back.
If you
And then if combat is finished, we can still all end up with 16 temp HP because the aura persists. Temp HP for everybody.
okay. So you're in a new marching order? Okay. Jackus, Neo, Ash, Dragonbait, and then Riddle and Sharpie. I'll grab you in that order. And we'll move to a new map. Okay, don't move yourselves just yet. And I will. Okay, I think we've got it now. Yeah, that's it. So there you are in marching order. You're following this shimmering path. And you can see this 20-foot wide shimmering bridge stretching off the cliff where the waterfall was onto the other side of the pass. On the other side of the bridge there's a swirling chaotic storm that can be seen in the distance. Beyond the bridge the environment seems to change drastically.
I would like to see what what we're looking at and describe it to the party, as well as keep an eye out for any rifts from the Shadowfell.
Sure. You're being especially wary, so moving at half speed, enough to give advantage on any sort of perception checks or whatnot.
I already had advantage anyway.
Yeah. The ground becomes rough and jagged beyond, and there seems to be large fissures everywhere in sort of random places all over the place. Neo, the sky above is almost pitch black, and the light in the sky is only barely pushing through this thick fog. There's swirling thunderstorms, providing only dim light. So it's dimly lit, but there seems to be mist all over the place.
Is the mist around us?
Yes.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic and see if the mist is magic in particular.
Okay, let me see here. It's got an aura of transmutation, not anything in particular, but yeah, transmutation magic.
I'll let the party know.
Let's have a look, Neo, with the rest of your investigations. Another thing, Neo, you notice is that the air here is very dry, almost mingled with the smell of burnt earth.
Okay. So what can I see with a 16, other than the smell of the...
No creatures. No enemies.
People move forward.
Dragonbait's torch is muted. Normally it gives off bright light within 20 foot and then dim light within another 20. It's giving off about 20 foot of dim light. What do you want to do?
Well, you crossing the bridge or not, Neo?
Yeah. Jackus, you're actually up the front there. Yeah, you
Yep.
see, Jackus walks beyond your vision, everyone. Into the mist.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving forward.
Okay. Are the rest of you keeping pace with him?
Well, I will be.
Lightning bolts him.
Yeah. Well, you don't hear any lightning bolts, but now you've lost sight of him. You'll need to sort of rush up to keep him within. You can move ahead enough that you can just spot him if you want. I think through the mist, you should see him when he's about 30 feet away from you, if I've got my lighting right.
Yep. Let's see.
Roughly.
Yep.
I'm gonna ready an Eldritch Blast just in case.
Okay. Ash, you're down the back there somewhere. You've now lost sight of everyone. You're alone.
Oh, sorry, I just went to the bathroom. I will
That's
keep
alright.
pace. I will try and stay in the middle.
When we get to about this point on the bridge, I'd like to have a look down the side of the bridge and just see, have a look at what's beneath, if I can see down that far.
Yeah, so you can only see 30 feet down, so you can't quite see the ground, but you can see reaching up through the mist is these fingers of black glass rock.
With Neo's past in the Netheril city, would he have seen this black glass rock before?
No. It looks natural.
No.
Naturally formed.
Hmm. Does the air as we're crossing this bridge smell like sulfur
No.
or rotten eggs?
No, it's not sulfur, but it does smell. It's actually got a smell of burnt meat.
I guess the Shadowfell is the realm of like necromancy rather than like hell.
This is a really long bridge.
Yes, it is a very long bridge.
Someone drag me. I'm so laggy.
That's alright, I'll get you. Where are you? Oh, I can't forget Dragon Bait. Okay, Jacuz, eventually you get to the end of the bridge, unmolested.
Nice. Do I see anything at the end?
You do. You see that you're at the top of a saddle. So I don't know if you're familiar with that as a formation, that's like the dip between two mountains to your left and right. And behind you, if rain were to fall, it would flow down into the Bakamora, and if it was any further forward, it would run the other direction and run into Samarak and south to the sea. And you rise up. The bridge has been on an arch, and it's arching upwards, and so you're rising up out of this mist covering the place, and you start to rise above it, and above you it's still black sky, it's still storm with the occasional flash of lightning, still pitch black sky with just the every now and then rays of muted light shining through. The mist covering, it seems like it's local to this bridge that you've just crossed, because behind you, in the vast distances beyond, are the Bakamora and the wild jungles of the Choltangar. And at the end of this bridge, there's a waystone with markers and arrows pointing. And beyond, you can see that there's a pathway leading up to what is a small rocky outcropping beyond, because of one of the mountains that's to your right, and the path that you're on, the arrow leads towards what you can see is maybe the ruins of some sort of fortress of some kind, far in the distance but within sight. And the arrow there points to Votaran. There's another one pointing beyond down the saddle, which should be the direction to Samarak. But beyond is this horrifying visage of basically volcanoes and lava everywhere. There's the clouds are black and red, and with this strange sort of black lightning coming down every so often. And The sign that points to is Blurtzburg. There's two other sign markers, both to the left and right, slightly behind you in two different angles. One points to Valaki and another one to Boravia.
Any signs of the fort we're looking for?
Yes, the one that points towards Votaran.
Okay, so you guys think we should head up that way?
We should follow the signs that we on the path for. Absolutely.
The place that you're
Okay.
come from is marked as well. Bakamora is what it says, not Choltangar or Cholt or anything like that.
Can you put the names in the chat?
Those names, if someone has either religion or history or arcana, one person can have a roll. If someone wants to help, you can, but then if you fail...
I can do arcane.
And then you might... if someone wants to help, you need to also pass to lower the DC for the other person.
Sharp, you'll do arcane.
Okay. Oh, 25.
32.
And he boosts it with psychic powers. Okay. You recall that all of these names are names of locations from Fable, not real places in the world, when you remember the map that you were shown to get to Cholt from Icewind Dale. The realms spoken of in nightmares, told to kids by kids on scout camp to scare each other. Not real places.
Alright, let people know this. Looks like we have slipped into the Feywild somehow. Or maybe the Shadow Realm, depends. Question if that's even the real fort, I guess.
Should we rest here first? Because this might be our first and only chance.
I could do a short rest, yes.
Okay. You cross the path, sit down, unwrap your dried meats and whatever it is that you've got as food, and have a meal and a short rest, and you manage to have a short rest without incident.
Nice. 1 second.
Twice.
Does anyone need healing before we do the short rest?
Or are you?
Yes, please.
Are you spending any hit dice, Neo?
Those 68 plus 12 is my hit dice.
Okay. And of course, everything that resets on a short rest resets. Twice during that time, Ash, you have a passing. You enter the Shadowfell. The muted colours happen. Once due to that large winged creature flying overhead, and once there's no discernible source, but you get that sense of depression, of just curling up in a ball and waiting to die, and the colours mute from the world. It does pass.
I will heal our monk for 13 plus 1 plus 4, 18 hit points. I use my healer feat.
Okay.
Is there anyone else? I think no one else was really damaged, right?
No, it was Neo that was sort of surrounded in the Greek Alpha ambush.
I copped most of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take it for the team.
The joys of being a tank.
Yes. Okay, so with that, you carry on, and I'm going to move us to a new map. These are all maps that I've created on using Flowscape, by the way. Just for this. They're now dead as dreams after this. Well, maybe I'll get another use for them, who knows. Oh! We're back in the tavern! Damn it, I thought I'd found all those.
So we've suddenly teleported into a random tavern.
Yeah. Here we are. You'll see this result.
Oh no.
Okay, just let me arrange you for a minute. Neo and Riddle. Okay, so you're walking along this path. And leading up to somewhere in the distance, rocky outcropping. To one side, there's a solid cliff face rising, hundreds of feet above, maybe thousands. And beneath you is a drop down to dead forest, far below. We've got birds. We'll get rid of birds. Okay, so hang on a sec, Jackus. You can see the outline. Let's see. Yeah, not far beyond the bridge. There's a 4-foot blown stone signal, and it's not an arrow anymore. It just says Votaran. V-O-T-A-R-N. The calf path soon splits into a collection of narrow winding paths that run along an extremely uneven rocky terrain. And there's black scorch marks on the ground.
Is this the path to Votaran?
Yes.
Okay.
Bear with me for a sec. Okay. We should be back to the 30-foot range. What do you want to do, Jackus? You're up front.
Alright, I'm just gonna keep walking forward until I see anything that's like unnatural or dangerous.
Okay. You're walking along. Can you you hear this crack of thunder? And can you roll a DC 18 dexterity saving throw?
Since I'm right behind him, basically, do I have to do that as well?
In fact, everyone does as lightning starts pounding the ground like rain. It reaches all the way back to you, Sharpie.
Gosh, I love being a monk.
So Ash has got a 1. Oh no, that was for something else. Jackus.
Oh yeah, sorry, what do you need?
Dexterity saving throw, please. Neo 24, Sharpie 18. Ooh, Riddle 8.
This is gonna hurt.
Okay. Riddle, you get struck by lightning, 17 damage.
Jesus.
Do we still have our temporary hit points from earlier?
You
Yes.
do, you do. I'm just going to move everyone relative to each other. And I'll just don't move for a minute. And I'll just to try and represent. I probably should have just a token for the party as you're moving across this sort of landscape. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3. There we go. So the party's just moving along, and it's at that point this lightning strikes, and you can hear the rumble of thunder above. You can see the the path beyond. It's not shining anymore. You've moved beyond that, but you can see Votaran in the, not see it, but like an outline in the dim light beyond. You just carrying on, Jacus?
Yep.
Okay.
But I guess more carefully now since there's lightning everywhere.
Okay, I'll grab everyone as a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So move another 30 feet. Can everyone do another save, please? Neo with a 16. Dragon Charm. You should change your name to Riddle so it's easier. You can do it just for this game, but you pass anyway. Jacus 9.
15.
15. Neo, Jacus, and Ash. Who are we missing? There must be one more.
Neo should get a +3 since he's beside me.
Oh yeah.
Sharpie is just right here.
Yeah, so that 16 turns into a 19, damn.
Oh yeah. So Neo, you're okay. Dragon Charm, you're okay.
Should I get an 18?
Yes, you get an 18 and pass. And so Jacus.
Yeah.
This time you get struck by lightning for 17 damage.
Good.
Cool. Carrying on.
Yep. Is there any like cover from the lightning?
There's some angled rocks and things, so you could try and move from cover to cover.
Or we could just move faster and get struck by this lightning.
Yeah, or dash.
I mean, if I were to dash, I'd leave everyone behind, so I'm not going to dash.
Okay. Riddle, you can sense some cry of like a charging sort of war cry coming from the west. Something is coming in quickly.
Make ready, guys. Something's incoming.
Sharpie hides.
Okay, you're able to. We're going to go to initiative as something comes charging in at you, but Riddle, because of your cry of alarm, there's no surprise roll, which might otherwise have come out of the blue. I'm just going to get rid of the turn order colour from last time round. Confirm clear, and now go ahead and add yourselves in. Sharpie with a 10. Neo with a 13, Riddle with an 18. Oops.
Rolling.
Jacus with an 8.
Oh, what a waste of a crit.
Can we do a 5-minute break before we start combat?
Sorry?
Can we do a 5-minute break before we start combat?
Yeah, good idea. It's just going 10 o'clock, so let's catch up back here at 10.